Good evening. I'm CBS19 meteorologist Joel Robinson. We're currently live on our CBS19 Plus streaming app as well as Facebook and YouTube. I have the Facebook chat up here right now for those of you who have questions about the severe weather situation. But we have a couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings that now include Longview, Tyler, Gilmer, Mineola. This polygon right here includes Gregg, Smith, Upshur, Wood counties, Henderson, Rains, and Van Zandt County. This is all ahead of this line of thunderstorms that are producing some very heavy winds. And we can actually query this out right now, but they are finally arriving now, just a little bit ahead of schedule now. But these are definitely some violent thunderstorms and that have had a history of producing some damaging winds. There have been some areas of rotation within this line that has prompted a couple of tornado warnings within the line. So I would not be surprised to see some isolated spin-ups here. So we're going to continue to query this, and we're going to continue to track this as it continues to move through East Texas. But severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until, let's query this one more time here. It's in effect until 12:15 a.m. for Gregg, Smith, Upshur, and Wood counties, and midnight for Delta and Hopkins County. That's off to the north and west here. But we're going to be watching for this right here. Notice how it makes this kind of a curved shape right here. That's called a bow echo, and that's indicative of some strong winds. Let's try to query some of this here. National Weather Service has indicated 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and up to half-dollar size hail. This is radar indicated here. And we'll time this out too as well. It's starting to come into the Mineola and Canton areas. It's currently over Emory, just passing Sulphur Springs, entering Mount Pleasant. But a severe thunderstorm warning means that this is imminent. Severe storms are imminent, and we can see on radar, look at all that lightning and that curved shape that it takes on right there is indicative of some very strong winds. And so as we look at the National Weather Service and the data that we've received, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be a likely possibility here with these storms. Now, depending on where you live, you may be hearing sirens right now. There's no tornado warnings in effect right now, but some communities may have the policy of 70 or 75 miles an hour winds or higher to sound off those tornado sirens. So, does not mean that there's a tornado, but still means that there is the potential for very strong to damaging winds. Let's look into velocity here so we can kind of query in some data with this. So let's query in some recorded winds here. Let's go in right here. Okay, let's go right here, right on the leading edge, just kind of going into Winnsboro. Couple of areas where there could be a little bit of spin in there, so we definitely have to keep an eye on that. Query this one more time here. All right, let me actually turn watches and warnings off real quick. Okay, yeah, 44 miles per hour, kind of weak. This is kind of the winds are aloft, and what can happen is sometimes the winds. There could be some stronger winds. There could be stronger winds up into the storm a little bit that could sometimes make their way down into the surface. That's what we call a rear inflow jet, and that can sometimes make its way down into the ground, or onto the ground, I should say, not into the ground. And that is what causes significant wind damage. So let's query this right here. See about finding out some information about the winds here. So, all right, 53 miles per hour, some gate-to-gate shear, which means there could be a little bit of spin in there. So some 60s in there, 53. The minimum for The minimum for severe limits is 58, so we have a 60, we have a 53 just on the leading edge, so coming into Mount Pleasant, coming into the Mineola area. So you folks need to be indoors at this time because we're continuing to track this long line of thunderstorms that is taking on that kind of a bow shape, which is indicative of some strong winds. Not to mention, this is definitely it definitely has a lot of rainfall with it as well. And if you watch CBS19 News at 10, we talked about how we could easily pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain just from these storms alone. All right, let's switch gears here. Let's time things out for you folks out there so you have an idea of when these storms will arrive in your location. So again, severe thunderstorm warning, that does include Tyler, Mineola, Gilmer, and Longview. And just outside of Henderson, I wouldn't be surprised if some of our southern counties are added to this severe thunderstorm warning as long as these storms continue to persist. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that for you. And if there's any questions on Facebook, I'm going to look over here real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and time this out for you guys. It is, Tyler is in the path of this. Tyler is in the path of this. Let's actually put this into motion here. Tyler is in the path of this, so you can see it's moving in a southeasterly direction. So Tyler, Mineola, Canton, Gilmer, Longview, you're in this severe thunderstorm warning. So there's your yellow polygon right there. Everybody that's in this yellow polygon, so you have Smith County and you have Wood County, and everything basically in the yellow polygon, you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, and you're in the path of this storm. So that's what that means there. So you folks in Tyler, Mineola, Gilmer, Longview, you might be seeing lightning in the distance. And that's these storms that are coming through. All right, enough messing around here. Let's go ahead and time things out here. The storm movement here is going to be, storm movement will be 50 miles per hour. So this is a very quick moving storm, very quick, very, very quick. So let's time this out here. We'll go all the way here. All right, here are some places to consider here. All right, so we'll go here. All right, so 11:49 p.m. The current time is 11:35. So the Betty area around 11:49 p.m. We got Gilmer at 11:58, Linden at 12:20, 12:36 it'll be in Tyler, 12:44 it'll be in Longview, 1:03 for White House, and 1:17 for Marshall. Again, the storm movement is southeasterly at about 50 miles per hour. So this is a very quick moving storm that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on here. Let's see if I can look at any storm reports here. No reports yet. Looks like there were some reports from north and west of us. So let's query some of these if I can. I can't. Oh, yeah. So yeah, thunderstorm wind gusts, multiple 60-mile-per-hour wind reports. So that's near Richardson, Texas. Let's go here. So we have some hail reports. We have parts of the Dallas Metroplex actually under a flash flood warning. So this purple polygon you can kind of see a little bit is a flash flood warning. And so we have plenty of rainfall falling with this as well. So some hail within this, up to $half size is possible. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is going to be possible as well, moving into Mineola, Gilmer, Longview. We can actually zoom in a little bit more just to get a better idea. Here we go. Okay. We'll go right in here. A couple more storm reports there. Some damage near Longview. That might have been from a little bit earlier, actually. Yeah, that's from earlier. We had another round of severe storms earlier. But now this is our main show. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we are weather impact alerted for, is this line right here. All right, let's zoom in a little bit more. Mineola, you're in it right now. East Point, Pine Mills, Grand Saline, right in it right now, coming into Van, approaching I-20. Oak Ridge, Hiram, starting to pass through the Emory area now. We can see plenty of lightning with this, so a very healthy looking thunderstorm complex. But yeah, you can see that bowing shape that it takes on there is very indicative of strong, strong winds. So we're going to continue to keep on this until it moves kind of out of our area here, until we do not see any more updates. See, anybody have any questions on? Yeah, we can time it out one more time for you folks that missed it out. I think that's really, really important. So we'll go ahead and time this out. Again, it's moving pretty quick, so you're not going to have much time to get under here. Okay, we have an alert in from the National Weather Service. We have a destructive tag on this severe thunderstorm warning that includes the Tyler area. Your phones might have just gone off. We have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect. We have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that's going to be for 80-mile-per-hour winds. Again, to recap, Gilmer, 11:46 a.m. or p.m. Excuse me, 11:54 p.m. Big Sandy. It'll be in Tyler at 12:15 a.m. in Longview at 12:30, and then 12:40 it'll be in Hallsville. So we have a destructive tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. I repeat, destructive tag. So 80-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible. There will definitely be some damage following this storm. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure you are taking shelter. Just move indoors, hunker down. It'll be in Tyler again around 12:15, and then Longview at 12:30. Jefferson at 12:39, Marshall at 1:03, and Henderson at 1:18. So we're going to continue to watch this as it continues to track through the area. Let's put this into motion now. Let's get rid of this. Let's put this into motion. There we go. So we have that new warning. Let's actually look at the details here. All right, yep. Destructive storms, hazard 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and half-dollar size hail. These are radar indicated at this time. So we have a ton of wind within the storm that's kind of pushing these storms to kind of bow out like this. Like I said, when you have this shape here, when you have that shape, that's indicative of very strong to severe winds. And as we just saw, and as you probably just heard on your smartphones, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be a likely possibility with these storms as they approach into Tyler, Gilmer, Longview. They're starting to move through the Mineola area now. So, yeah, we're going to continue to watch this, folks. This is a destructive and dangerous situation. You definitely want to be indoors at this time. So again, and we have that severe thunderstorm watch that continues through 4 a.m. and luckily this is the main show. This is it. So basically when this is out of the area, it's done. It doesn't include some of our southern counties. Here, I'll pull up a map real quick so you can see. So the severe thunderstorm watch goes all the way down to Nacogdoches, but it does not include some of our southern counties here. I think it will definitely start to weaken as it continues to track down into the Nacogdoches area, closer to Lufkin, where the severe thunderstorm warning or watch is not in effect. So that's some good news there. But for the time being, we're continuing to track some 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. So as us meteorologists always say, don't be scared, be prepared. So heads up, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be possible here. And again, this is going to go for the following counties here. Let's clear this out. All right, here are the following counties here: Gregg, Smith, Upshur, and Wood counties. You're under this severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15. That's going to be in another 30 minutes, 32 minutes to be exact from this time. And again, that's for those 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And there could be some indication of a little bit of hail within these thunderstorms as well. So we're watching this very closely. Lots of lightning out there. Lightning itself is always dangerous. You definitely don't want to be outside during that. So I suggest you just hunker down. You got until 12:15 for this severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to continue to watch this as it continues to track here across East Texas. Thank you so much for joining us here. If you have any questions, just let me know. I have the Facebook chat up right here. What time in White House? Let's do one more time. Let's just leave it up here. All right, should be in, let's see. What time in White House? Should be around 12:45, 12:30 a.m., I would say. So it should be in the Tyler area around, let's see, is it coming up? I'm so sorry, let me actually start this over here. We'll get a better view of it here. But 12:15 for the Tyler area. And it is a possibility I could get it a little bit extended here too. All right, so we're going to continue to watch this here. All righty, so Tyler by 12:21. Yeah, Tyler by 12:21. And 12:34 for Longview, Overton by 12:51, Marshall by 1:04, Jacksonville 1:16. So roughly that between 12:20 and 12:30, I would say, for that time frame as it arrives into White House. But this is it right here. It's coming in. It's starting to close in on Smith County as we speak right now. So it's over Wood County, starting to come into Smith County. Includes the Tyler area, includes Big Sandy, Gilmer, and Jacksonville. You're not in the warning just yet, but if this continues on the track that it's doing it, it's going, definitely could see a severe thunderstorm warning be added to that. So. Again, we're going to continue to track this as it continues to move through. So be sure to take precautions. Make sure your phones are charged. I think power outages are probably going to be likely here with these wind gusts. And we have meteorologist Sarah Blue coming in with us.
I'll be with you in just a second.
All right, sounds great. So we're continuing to track this line of severe thunderstorms with a destructive tag here. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be likely with this, and as you just heard your phones go off. Yeah, I think power outages are going to be likely, and some tree damage is going to be likely. So this is nothing. This is not your regular severe thunderstorm warning. This is definitely something to really take seriously here as it continues to track. Starting to head into the once again starting to head into the Smith County area in 12:20, roughly that 12:20 to 12:30 time frame should be approaching Tyler. There's White House, roughly that kind of time frame, 12:20 to 12:30 should be in that area, but it's moving pretty quick at 50 miles per hour, and look at all that lightning too, so very intense out there. Starting to cross through the Mineola area, exiting Quitman. Emory, you're in the clear at this point. You're pretty much in the clear. You could have a couple lightning strikes. It's not okay to be outside at this time. Still could expect a couple lightning strikes out of that. But we're continuing to track this, and we have meteorologist Sarah Blue with us, also tracking the storm. She'll be on with us in just a little bit. Okay, so probability of a tornado, it's we're not really seeing any indications of a tornado at this time, but even without a tornado, this is certainly something that we're gonna reset and go on air. Okay, sounds good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and reset this, and we're gonna go ahead and go on air for this destructive tag, okay? So we'll see you on there. Hey, East Texas, this is meteorologist Joel Robinson. We're tracking some destructive severe thunderstorms going into the Tyler, Mineola, Lindale area. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, as you can see behind me there. We're continuing to track this as it continues to move through East Texas, but some very dangerous winds out there. Let's look at this right here. We're going to go ahead and query out some times for you. So severe thunderstorm warning for those of you who are joining us here on air. Gregg County, Smith County, Upshur County, and Wood County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15 a.m. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning that includes Henderson and Van Zant counties. And that also goes until 12:15 a.m. And that's for this line of thunderstorms that's currently tracking over the Mineola area. It's starting to approach I-20 there. Some dangerous wind gusts are expected out of this. Up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible. So if you're hearing sirens, if you're also hearing your phones go off, this is the reason why. Some areas, not every area, but if you are hearing sirens, some folks' policies have it to where up to 80, like maybe 70 or 80 plus mile per hour winds will be enough to set off those sirens. There's no tornado threat at this time, but certainly a damaging wind threat as we speak right now. And as we zoom out a little bit, you notice that it's really taking on this kind of a curved shape right there. We've been kind of talking about this all evening here. It's indicative of very strong winds and, as a matter of fact, severe winds. As we go throughout the rest of the evening, we're going to continue to expect that. We also have meteorologist Sarah Blue with us. She's going to be tracking the storms with me, and we're going to continue to track this as we go throughout the rest of the night. But let's zoom in a little bit closer, and we'll go ahead and time things out for you. This thing is moving pretty quick at about 50 miles per hour. It's producing 80-mile-per-hour winds. It's also producing up to half-dollar size hail. So hail is going to be a possibility as well. And I certainly wouldn't rule out some isolated areas of rotation within these storms here. Earlier, we did see a couple of tornado warnings issued within this storm as it moved through southern parts of Oklahoma and even into northern parts of Texas. So certainly not out of the question, but no tornado threat at this time. But here's an updated look at timing. So 11:51 p.m. it'll be in Gilmer, 12:16 a.m. in Gladewater. It'll approach the Tyler area at 12:25, Kilgore at 12:42, 1:04 a.m. Troop, Henderson by 1:17, and Pine Hill at 1:36. So you folks need to be in your safe spot. You need to be in your safe spot as soon as you can for these thunderstorms that are moving through, okay? So again, this severe thunderstorm warning continues until 12:15 a.m. Are you mic'd up?
Hey, yeah, Joel, I am mic'd up. I can take it over for just a second for you. Yeah, we have been tracking this. Joel has been in here. Meteorologist Joel Robinson has been in here all morning tracking these gusty winds for you. Lots of severe thunderstorms out there. I'm meteorologist Sarah Blue. Thanks so much for joining us. We are tracking dangerous wind gusts out of this. Now, that's the big thing. Hurricane force winds are what we are expecting. The National Weather Service is saying this is an extremely destructive system. So make sure that you are staying in your safe place, staying in shelter. That's going to be the lowest level of the building with the most interior room. Generally, you don't need to do that with a severe thunderstorm warning, but just because of how damaging these wind gusts are, you want to treat it like a tornado warning. It's almost like you're getting slammed into by 75, 80 miles per hour. Joel, have you been keeping an eye on this? Alrighty. Well, lots of lightning out of this as well. So really, as long as you stay inside, you have a much better chance of staying safe with this. This is continuing off into the southeast. There is a timeline on it for you about, let's see, a little bit longer until it reaches Gilmer. That's about, Joel, when was this timeline put on?
So this timeline was maybe a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
I can give an updated timeline.
Let's get a new one.
You got it.
Because it's going to be this leading edge that we're really keeping a close eye on. It's going to be about 75, 80 miles per hour. That's what we were expecting based off of the weather data that we saw a bit earlier today. Plenty of lightning out there. All right, here we go. Tyler Pounds, that's supposed to reach you just after midnight. Tyler City Center closer to 12:15. Hallsville, that gusty wind, if it reaches you out there, around 12:41. Henderson about 12:14. Carthage closer to 1:30, 1:40 in the morning. So this is going to be an overnight system. We are going to continue to stay on with you as long as there is a severe thunderstorm warning that has this damaging tag on it. We want to make sure that you guys are staying safe and getting the latest information for your area. Lots of lightning out there as well. So make sure that you are staying in your safe place. I apologize for that alarm. That was my alarm to wake me up to make sure that we were on air in time. So let me go ahead and turn all of those off. Plenty of gusty winds out there. That's going to be the big thing. I'd recommend delaying any travel plans that you have. That's between our section of I-20 here between Tyler and Longview. Definitely slow down if you're headed out toward Gun Barrel City or out toward Waxahachie as well. Marshall, we're still good, just some rain out there, but really we are going to see those gusty winds get there rather quickly. Joel, what have you been seeing so far this morning? What is the timeline of what the people at home can expect?
Okay, so overall this is going to be between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. So actually, this is actually coming in a little bit ahead of schedule as compared to some of the data that we've been seeing, but should be out of the picture by probably around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., considering that this is a little bit ahead of schedule. But it should be clearing East Texas as early as 3 a.m. overall. So we're continuing to track this. Lots of lightning out there. I'm seeing folks on Facebook say that there's definitely a lightning show out there. And boy, howdy, we can definitely see that there's a lot of lightning detected on our CBS19 live radar. Tons of severe thunderstorm warnings. We actually have a flash flood warning in effect closer to the Dallas Metroplex. So lots of rainfall out of this. So some pretty significant rainfall rates out of this. So you definitely don't want to be driving in this at all. You definitely could expect some flooded roadways and some limited visibilities out of this as well.
Hey, certainly. Hey, control room, did we just go on air? Was that? Okay, perfect. Awesome. So we are live on air on CBS19 on air, and we're also live on CBS19 Plus on this Sunday evening. It's almost Monday morning at this point. So we're going to stay on with you for as long as we need to. We're live here on CBS19 Plus, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Joel is going to continue to monitor all of our Facebook comments. That way we can get you guys the latest updates as they happen. But just make sure that you are staying in your safe place, especially along this leading edge of the system. Plenty of lightning out there. Joel, do you know how to do a lightning counter on this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, let's get a lightning counter for all of the gusty winds that or all of the lightning that we're seeing out there, because plenty of it is in the system. When I was driving in to cover these storms, wow, it certainly looked like almost a strobe light effect. Let me see, that was 4,600 strikes in the past 15 minutes, and that's cloud to ground lightning. So make sure that you are staying inside. Remember, if you hear thunder, you can get struck by lightning. So please make sure that you are staying inside in this system. Joel, can we get a wider look out of this, please? If we take just a zoomed out look, we can see what's happening out there. Alrighty, so yeah, lots of storms out there. We're definitely seeing it in the Dallas area, as well as through East Texas, as well as back to the Dallas Metroplex. You can see the areas that are under these purple polygons. That's where there is currently a flash flood warning. So I'm not seeing, well, there is one over here in East Texas, but one out to North Texas, one up to our north. This has just been a reminder of how much rain can be produced out of this system. It is certainly a very rain-heavy system. I suspect that we'll probably get some more flash flood warnings, maybe some flood advisories and flood warnings through the next several hours. We're going to continue to keep you updated on that through the morning. So just make sure that you are staying cautious on your morning commute tomorrow. Now, a lot of us are probably in for the night at this point, and really, if you can stay inside, that is going to be the best option for you as these storms pass you by. Make sure that you are staying inside. But when you're going out tomorrow morning, look for any debris on the roadways because of just how gusty these winds are. I suspect that we'll see some trees that are downed. You may want to pack a bit of extra time onto your commute tomorrow morning. And of course, just make sure that you are staying cautious. I'd also recommend avoiding any of the rivers or the lakes tomorrow morning because there could be some debris that's blown in there and you won't be able to see it because the lake will be clouded over. Can we switch over to reflectivity or to velocity? This was going to give us a check of how gusty those winds are. We'll also see if there's any rotation because we've been seeing tornado possible tags kind of pop in and out of this. All right, so I'm looking right here between Pittsburgh and Gilmer where you're seeing this bright flash of white, almost green. That's where we're seeing some of the gustiest winds. It looks like we just got a new scan in there. Joel, are we able to sample some of the gusty winds in here? You may have to turn off the watch and warnings layer. Yes. But we'll continue to, that will give us a bit of an updated wind gust for you.
Yes, let me do that real quick.
And I'm just checking in with the National Weather Service to see if they have any updates. All right. I'm getting reports that there was a tree that was on a home or knocked down onto a home near Pittsburgh, Texas. That was in Camp County. So we are seeing reports of lots of damage out of this. So make sure that you are staying inside and staying with aware. Again, this is why you need to stay in your safe place because from emergency management, we have gotten reports that a tree was downed. So you want to treat this as if it is a tornado warning, even if it is just a severe thunderstorm warning. It does have that destructive tag on it. So right now, our velocity is checking in an estimated about 60 miles per hour. That's right around severe limits. So that's why we have these alerts up there. Hey, control room, can we drop that lower third, please? That would be great. Thank you. And Joel, can we get a few more toward Gilmer and closer to Big Sandy as well?
I also just want to point out too, with these kinds of systems, you have these really strong winds that happen within these thunderstorms that create that bowing shape. But sometimes at the ends of it, we have what are called bookend vortices. So those are where the tornadoes could potentially happen, and it looks like that's kind of the case over near the Pittsburgh area. So we're continuing to watch that very closely. And as Sarah had mentioned before, we actually do have some tornado possible tags kind of coming in and out. So when it comes to systems like this, we definitely have to keep an eye on that.
Hey, yeah, certainly, Joel. Make sure that you are staying weather aware and, of course, keeping up to date with the latest information. So that 43, was that out toward the Gilmer, Big Sandy area?
Yes, it was.
So potentially slightly less gusty winds out there, but still very, very windy conditions. Make sure that you are keeping up to date with the forecast. Now, if you have your CBS19 Plus app, you can take that with you on your phone to make sure that you are keeping up with the latest as you're going to your safe place. Also, if you have your phone, you can access the National Weather Service website. That way you can continue to see where the radar is and where the watches and warnings are. Also, if you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure that you are taking that with you as well. You'll certainly need to have multiple ways to receive that weather information. Now let's go ahead, if we can turn all of the watches and warnings back on there. That way we can see where all of the latest storms are.
Yeah, so the severe thunderstorm warning continues until 12:15 a.m. here. So it goes all the way through the Tyler area into Longview, Gilmer, and we were just sampling some wind data here. It looks like it's going to be more towards more like maybe 50 to 60 miles per hour, maybe a little bit above there. But there still could definitely be some pockets in there where we could see up to 80 miles per hour as indicated by the warning. So definitely be sure to take those precautions.
Yeah, certainly. You want to make sure that you are staying aware, and of course, make sure that you are staying cautious on the roadways. If you can avoid travel, that is probably going to be the best option for you there. Lots of lightning out there in the Tyler area and back to Gilmer. We're seeing tons of it near Canton as well. I bet that you guys, if you're in Canton, Mineola, Gilmer, you're hearing plenty of thunder. It's probably very loud where you are right now. Here at the CBS19 studio, we're kind of just on the edge, the leading edge of this here in Tyler. Plenty of gusty winds out there, but of course, we're going to keep an eye on that. All right, so I just got an update from one of the ham radio operators. 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Betty. That's in North Upshur County. So again, we're just on the edge of that severe level, that severe risk. That's in Betty, though. So continue to make sure that you are staying aware and in your safe place. Hey, control room, can we take Max 2 real fast? So yeah, lots of lightning out there. I'm going to get a check of this. So it's this area near Gilmer where I'm seeing the gustiest winds, where you're seeing that bright green, that bright white. It's heading into our city, into Lone Star as well. Dangerfield, some pretty gusty winds out there. Make sure that you are staying in your safe place. Ashland, I would go ahead and go to my safe place now. Longview, if you're up with us, that's going to reach you shortly, so make sure that you are staying ready to take shelter in case you do need it. Let me go ahead and get a timeline on this for you. That way we can get a leading edge. Hey, Joel, how fast was this moving?
This was moving at about 50 miles per hour.
Oh, so it is flying.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's going.
All right. So about 50 miles per hour. The leading edge should reach you in White Oak in about 10 minutes or so. Longview, we're giving you about 20 to 30 minutes heads up on that. Hallsville, that'll reach you, the leading edge where the gustiest winds are, will reach you closer to 12:45. Henderson, about an hour until you feel the brunt of those gusty winds. Pine Hill, about 1:21. Wascom, about 1:30. And then Carthage, if it continues to hold all the way out there, which given what it's looking like now, there is a possibility that should get close to you, closer to 1:41 there. So yeah, make sure that you are staying, of course, aware. I'm going to check to see our debris tracker to see if there's anything that has been lofted. I haven't seen anything that gives me concern for a tornado. We're not seeing that rotation, but we have seen the very gusty wind. So again, you want to make sure that you are treating this as if it is a tornado warning. And I'm just checking in with the National Weather Service to see what they're looking at here. All right, again, we've just gotten that one report from Pittsburgh. Some power outages are possible. Again, this is in the town of Pittsburgh. There has been some flickering on and off of the lights there from our reports from the National Weather Service. If you guys at home are feeling or seeing any impacts, if you want to put them in the Facebook comments. We're looking at radar, but you guys are on the ground, and it definitely gives us a good idea to be able to see that ground truth. So don't leave your safe place, don't go outside, but if your electricity goes out, let us know, or if you happen to see something out your window, go ahead and let us know there as well. So plenty of rainfall has come. This is going to be a check of the past 2 hours or so. It may take just a quick second for all of this to load in there. but we have seen plenty of rainfall. That's why there have been these flash flood warnings that have been issued. That's for everything that you're seeing in the purple polygons. There was one that I saw just recently in our area. But make sure that you, of course, are staying in your safe place and just watching out for anything that may give you a pocket of rain out there. There's a high likelihood that we see this last all the way into early tomorrow morning. Some of these flooding and ponding events. So you want to make sure that you are, of course, staying aware tomorrow morning. Now,
they extended the severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15 a.m. That includes the Tyler area.
Perfect. So yeah, make sure that you are staying aware. Okay. All right, I'm seeing reports in Upshur County, 3/4 inch hail in the South Upshur County area. So, whew, that is some pretty hefty hail out there, right, Joel?
Yeah, hefty hail, and we have a new polygon actually added for the severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 1:15 a.m. It still has that destructive tag on it, and it now includes Jacksonville, Rusk, Laneville, Henderson, and Carthage. Now it goes until 1:15 a.m. Here's the polygon right there. That's the newly updated alert. And again, that's going to be for those 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We had a couple reports that were a little bit less than that, but certainly could be some pockets where we could see some 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And we also have to kind of pay attention for the possibility of maybe some isolated tornadoes within this line. When you have, like I said, when you have lines like this, typically towards like the top end or the north end or the south end, you kind of get these little minor areas of rotation that could lead to the development of tornadoes. So we're going to continue to watch that as well. But like I said before, Monday 1:15 a.m., that new severe thunderstorm warning that now stretches down to Jacksonville, Rusk, Cushing, Laneville, Henderson, Carthage. That's until 1:15 a.m. Let's go ahead and we can time this out real quick. Turn this off real quick. I think we're starting to hear a little bit of rain out there, Sarah.
We certainly are. Hey, control room, can we pop up that tower cam real fast? This is a live look in Tyler. This is looking north. You can see some of the rain on the camera there. It does appear that it's shaking. Oh, we just got a strike of lightning. So yeah, this is just a taste of what's happening. So again, facing north, so that's where we're going to start to see some of the lightning build. This is once again on Broadway, I believe Broadway and the Loop. So some gusty winds out there. Again, the camera's shaking. There are some people that are still out on the roadways. I would recommend that you try to make sure that you get to a sturdy shelter as soon as possible. Being in a vehicle is not a safe place to be with winds this gusty. Again, we are expecting up 75, maybe even 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's a potential out of this. So that is hurricane force wind. Make sure that you are staying aware. And Joel just got a new timeline on that for us. Joel, what are you looking at there?
All right, so still kind of the same timeline for Tyler, 12:15 a.m. Kilgore area by 12:29, 12:42 for Overton, 1:04 a.m. for Henderson, Pine Hill, 1:22, 1:39 a.m. for Carthage, and 1:51 a.m. for Cushing. And once again, you're all in that severe thunderstorm warning with that destructive tag, so you might have just heard your phones go off, and that's for that destructive tag. So you definitely want to be in a sturdy building if possible.
Yeah, when Joel says a sturdy building, he means a permanent structure there. You don't want to be in a mobile home. That is one of the more dangerous places to be if you are in some sort of tornado or gusty wind event. The National Weather Service recommends that if you can get to a sturdy structure, that is safer. They have also said that it is safer to be outside of a mobile home rather than inside of a mobile home during tornadic events. This one, again, even though it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, we are seeing this destructive tag on it, indicating just how gusty these winds are and how dangerous these winds are. So I really hope that you guys are staying safe out there. Hey, Joel, I'm starting to see a Titan indicator pop up there. Are we able to switch over to back to reflectivity and zoom in on the Mount Pleasant area west of Linden?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and go to velocity here, and it looks like we have a little bit of indication of some rotation right along here. That's what we call a bookend vortex right there. So that's an indication that there could be a little bit of a tightening there. So there we go. You can see a little bit, those colors are starting to, you can really see where those greens are starting to become brighter. So those winds are really punching in, and those inbound winds are going in as well. So it's starting to create a little bit of a spinning effect.
Yeah, and if you're in the Lone Star community, if you're not already in your safe place, I'd recommend going there as well. Are we able to turn this Titan indicator off and zoom in just a little bit more so we can get a better look at what's happening? Again, the gustiest winds moving right now through Lone Star. We are starting to see just a little bit of that rotation. Again, nothing that the National Weather Service has warned, but our Titan indicator is picking up on it, so we want to give you the latest updates there. And it looks like our Titan indicator just disappeared with the new radar scan, but still we are going to continue to keep an eye on this, given that we are seeing just that slight bit of bookend rotation out there near Lone Star or City. If you're in Oars, I would recommend just staying in your safe place. That way you're covered no matter what happens. Again, what we're looking at here, so we're seeing red and green on the radar. That isn't an indication of good or bad or anything like that. It's just the direction that the wind is going. Red means it's going away from the radar site. Green means it's going toward the radar site. And when we start to see them get really close, really wound up in there, that's when we start to see some sort of tornadic rotation. Again, this is not tight enough for us to have that concern at the moment, but we are going to continue to keep an eye on it just that way that we are prepared. Looks like lots of gusty winds picking up just to the east of Ore City, heading toward Harleton and off toward Woodland as well. Jefferson, I'd recommend going to your safe place, as we did have the severe thunderstorm warning get extended off to our southeast. That includes Marshall, parts of Marin County. Joel, are we able to zoom out a little bit to see where that new polygon goes? Yeah, that goes out toward Jacksonville. Henderson, you're included in that. Rusk County, parts of the Angelina County, and it does go all the way over to the state line there. It looks like our Titan indicators are picking up on some hailstones as well. So we've already gotten reports of hailstone that is 3/4 of an inch. That's really big. You want to make sure that you are staying inside. That way that you are prepped and ready to go. And you know what, even if you're not inside this polygon, just make sure that you are staying weather aware and that you have at least 2 ways to receive weather information in the event that we do see this get extended all the way out to the south and southeast. We're going to continue to stay on air with you as long as there is this destructive possible tag. Again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, so we've seen this come through, but we are going to continue to stay on with you just because of how damaging those wind gusts have the possibility of being. Joel, what can you update us with?
So that severe thunderstorm warning again continues until 1:15 a.m. And again, as Sarah just broke down, we have a new polygon that's just been added for the Jacksonville, Henderson area. We don't have too many updates from the National Weather Service at this time. We're basically going to continue to track this as it continues to move through East Texas, as long as it has that destructive tag on it. And it looks like they did just drop one of the severe thunderstorm warnings that included the Mineola area and Winnsboro. But now we are just down to this polygon here. This is the newly updated one that goes until 1:15, and it includes the Tyler area, Troop, Jacksonville, Rusk, Cushing, Laneville, Henderson, Tatum. We just saw some damage reports from Tatum earlier. We featured a viewer photo earlier with some damage already. So there's already some damage in some parts from the first round of storms that we had today. And so this is the main round that's going to unfortunately cause a little bit more damage, unfortunately. Let's go back to here to radar reflectivity here. Rain is really starting to come down hard here at the studio here. Yeah, we're going to continue to stay on air until this destructive tag drops, but we got quite a bit of distance to go until it actually moves out of the warned area, and we'll continue to watch it as long as it becomes severe warned. And we're going to track this. I'm going to track the timing here real quick. Let's go to this, and then we'll get some updated times for you. for you folks at home. Okay, once again, this track is southeast at 50 miles per hour, so here's some updated times for you. So Longview, it's already in the Tyler area right now. It's 12:16. We can definitely hear it here in the studio. Longview, 12:26 a.m. Mount Selman, 12:40. 12:56 a.m. for Jacksonville, 1:13 a.m. for Laneville, 1:25 a.m. it'll be in Rusk, 1:39 a.m. it'll be in Carthage, and 1:59 a.m. it'll be in Timpson. So that's over the next couple of hours. Again, this is moving pretty quick, and it's got some very damaging winds with it. This is just a nasty, nasty line of thunderstorms, Sarah.
Hey, yeah, it really is. Oh, I'm seeing that we have a report of some power outages. Are we able to pop that up? Okay, yeah, so this is a report. Hey, Nayeli, where is this from? Is this from ERCOT? From Power Outages US. Okay, this is in Wood County. Reports of over 3,000 power outages in Camp County. Almost 2,000 people have been reported without power. About 2,000 power outages out in Sabine County. Remember, we did have that little cell go down through there earlier today. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this. Remember, if there is a power outage in your area, don't assume that it has already been reported. Go ahead and report that to your provider. That way you can get power on a little bit more quickly. And you know what, if you do still have power and you're on with us, I'd recommend going ahead and just plugging in any extra battery packs you have or charging your devices before these storms get to you, just in the event that you do lose power. That way you are prepared and can continue to get the latest weather information. Now let's switch back over. Yeah, there we go. This is Max 1. If we could take a look at Max 2. I'm seeing just, again, lots of gusty winds in the Gilmer area. In this area that is just to the east of Ore City heading toward Harleton, I'm seeing lots of wind gusts where you're seeing that bright green on your screen. That's where we're really seeing this begin to pick up. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Again, make sure you're able to take shelter. We're treating this as if it is a tornado warning. And that's just due to the destructive tag that's been on a lot of these systems. Now, Joel has been here all morning. He's been watching it for you. He's been tracking it. And we're going to continue to keep an eye on this for you here. Now, the big deal with this is even though it's not a tornado warning, we will likely see some damage due to wind. That means that we could see some debris get thrown around. That means trees could be down. You could see some updates on your roof, or some damage to your roof, I should say. Trees down, they could pick up just some debris that's on the side of the road and throw it around, and then that could potentially cause damage to buildings. The big thing that we see with mobile homes is when we have these gusty winds that are from either a tornado or from a very strong wind gust line like this. It can get under that mobile home and kind of pick it up and throw it. So we want to make sure that you guys are staying safe. All right, I'm seeing a picture out there. This is from the Caldwell Zoo. There's a little bit of film over the camera there. You know, plenty of gusty winds as well, and lightning. Wow, just look at all of the lightning that's out there. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. If you're outside, even if you are been seeing any of these gusty winds, that lightning is certainly another reminder to make sure that you are staying inside, away from the outdoors. Again, you want to treat this as if it is a tornado warning, so you can go to your safe place. You can take that CBS19 Plus app with you. You can take your NOAA weather radio. If you have a cell phone with you, you can continue to watch via radar on our app, or we're live on Facebook or on YouTube as well. You can also take your NOAA weather radio, or if you just find the National Weather Service website, you'll still be able to see where the watches and warnings are. There's a radar tab on there. I want to make sure that you guys have the latest information, that you're staying safe. So again, if we're looking at everything that's inside this polygon, Joel, are we able to turn the lightning on this off really quick?
Yes, I also wanted to point out the sirens are going off in Longview for the high wind speeds.
Okay, yeah, Longview, make sure you're going to your safe place. Again, wind gusts 70, 80 miles per hour are very possible and likely out of this. So make sure you're going to your safe place. We've gotten reports of the sirens going off in Longview. So Longview, go to your safe place. Henderson, you'll likely need to go there soon. soon. You are under this polygon. Marshall, I'd recommend going to your safe place. Jefferson, that's you. Tyler, that's you as well. Are we able to zoom in along the Longview area, just kind of see what other towns and streets are out there? Hallsville is out there as well, so you need to make sure that you're staying in your safe place. Same toward Kilgore. Very gusty winds are on the way to you. Gum Springs, you're about to get hit with some very intense wind gusts. Lakeport as well. Can we go off to the west and south a little bit? So past Kilgore, Liberty City, you need to make sure you're in a safe place. Overton, the gustiest winds are still just where we're starting to see some of these yellows and oranges pop up, but that's going to slam into your area very quickly. New Chapel Hill, you're out of the worst of those wind gusts as the leading edge is just slightly past you right now. But I would recommend just staying there because we could see gusty winds, especially if some of these trees or tree branches are compromised due to that first initial wind gust. It's going to last with you for a little bit. Make sure that you are staying up to date and, of course, staying weather aware out there. Plenty of rainfall is coming through as well. So just make sure that you're staying safe and staying cautious. Joel, you seen any updates?
Nothing so far, but as you can see, it's approaching I-20 here. You definitely don't want to be driving when this storm comes through. If you're on the road, just be sure to pull over. Don't try to drive into this. You know, the mixture of high winds and just low visibilities from the intense rainfall that we're seeing from this is not an ideal scenario to be driving in. But again, we're treating this like a tornado warning because it's very, very close. I mean, this is hurricane force winds right here that we're watching for as it continues to move through the area here. So you definitely want to be taking those precautions. This is a very, very destructive situation here. There's power outages being reported. There's definitely going to be some damage that comes along with this as well. So we definitely need to treat this very seriously.
Exactly, yeah. Make sure that you are, of course, keeping up to date with the latest information and making sure that you are staying weather aware. We've seen lots of flash flood warnings get issued, so make sure that you are ready for that. And of course, keeping up to date with the latest. Now, those flash flood warnings are going to last just a little bit longer. We'll likely see some of the rivers oversee their banks, so just be aware of that, especially as you're heading out tomorrow. We're continuing to see a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Are we able to switch back to Max 2, please? Thank you so much. All right, Tyler, we're in that severe thunderstorm warning. It continues all the way through 1:15. We'll continue on with you as long as there is that severe thunderstorm warning with the destructive possible tag. A second one is just up to our north, is parts of Bowie, Cass County, Morris and Titus County. Again, not all of the county, but parts of it. That's near Naples area. Gusty winds over 60 miles per hour, but a lot of these we've seen closer to 70, maybe 80. Athens, you are currently under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. This continues all the way back toward Mybeck and toward Corsicana, all the way into the Waxahachie area and out toward Dallas and parts of South Dallas, heading out to the Waco area. Let me go ahead and get a track on these again. That way we can give you a heads up when the gustiest winds are going to make it to your area, because we want to give you a heads up. That way you can be prepared. I would recommend just going to your safe place just to be prepared in general, because these storms are just flying. They've been moving at around 50 miles per hour. I just heard some pretty loud crashes of thunder here at our CBS19 studio. So the gustiest winds, hey, are we able to switch back to Max 2, please? Thank you so much. The gustiest winds will reach you around 12:30 in Troop, Henderson closer to 12:45. So you got about 20-30 minutes left on that. Carthage closer to 1:15. Timpson, if it continues to hold that direction, 1:45 is when those wind gusts are set to slam into your region. Logansport across the state line. That's a little bit closer to 2 a.m. So again, a lot of us are asleep during this point. So we won't start to see some of the impacts until early tomorrow morning when we wake up to potentially some destruction, some downed trees, some downed power lines. A very important note: if you see a downed power line, treat it as if it's a live wire. There's a lot of voltage running through those power lines. You want to make sure that you don't touch it. please make sure that you are keeping it spaced, treating it as if it's a live wire, and then reporting it to the local authorities. That way they can handle it and handle it safely and you don't get electrocuted. Again, stay very cautious with that, especially if you're around any standing water, as water does tend to conduct electricity a bit more. Again, gusty winds heading off to the southeast. Troop, go into your safe place. Pine Hill, that's going to reach you soon. Timpson, make sure that you are staying in your safe place and weather aware with that as well. Hey, Joel, what's up?
Yeah, we're continuing to track this as it continues to move through. It's heading through the Longview area at this time. There we go. It's heading through Longview, some pretty destructive winds here. I actually kind of want to query some of these wind gusts here. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, let's query some of these. So some very, very, very intense winds out of here. So these are these are some very bright colors here showing up. Yeah, there's a nice loud thunderclap here at the CBS19 studio. So all right, here's the Gilmer area. Oh, I forgot to turn that off. So let's temporarily turn this off.
Hey Joel, while you're looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and just answer a few Facebook questions out there. So I'm seeing questions about the Longview area. Longview, gusty winds are headed your direction, so just make sure that you are staying in your safe place. I'm seeing that the sirens are going off in Kilgore, according to Shannon. Thank you so much for tuning in, Shannon. Sulphur Springs up to the north, things aren't quite as intense out there. You kind of had the gustiest winds already move through for today, but just make sure that you are keeping up to date with the forecast. In Gladewater, that you guys are kind of behind that leading edge of the gusty winds. Still, just make sure that you are keeping up to date with the latest information. Marshall off to the east, those gusty winds are set to reach you here shortly, so I would recommend just going into your safe place. Again, I'm seeing there's questions about rotation. We haven't seen reports of a tornado. This is just very strong wind gusts that have the potential to do the same amount of destruction as a tornado. So that's why you're seeing these sirens go on. That's why your phone is buzzing. That's why you want to treat this as if it is a tornado warning. Again, make sure you're going to your safe place. That's going to be the lowest level of the building, the most interior room. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible to keep yourself safe in all of this. I'm going to toss it back over to Joel.
All right, so I just queried in some wind gusts here on some of the velocity data. So these are winds kind of, they're not towards the surface, they're kind of aloft into the thunderstorm, but some of these can make their way down to the surface as these really intense winds. So if you'll note here, we have a 67-mile-an-hour wind, 65 miles per hour here. So these are definitely some damaging winds here. Let's do a couple of more. So yeah, towards the Gilmer area, kind of where the beam is moving up a little bit. The radar beam is tilted up a little bit, so you can kind of get an idea of what the winds are like into the thunderstorm a little bit further away. But as the thunderstorms continue to move through, these winds can move down to the surface, and so we have these brighter colors that you're seeing here on your screen that are kind of moving into the Longview area at this time. So expect definitely 60+ mile-an-hour winds. You have a couple of rotation signatures here, and that's just for the potential for a little bit of rotation there. Could be a little bit of spin in there, but we don't really have any confirmed tornado threats here at this time. It's mainly just going to be damaging winds. But again, we're tracking some very intense winds within these thunderstorms that could potentially make their way down into the surface and have caused some power outage. Actually have caused some power outages just northwest.
I remember if there is a power outage in your area, you need to make sure that you are reporting it to your local power provider. That way they can get the power on as quickly as possible. We had a very similar system come through last year about this time. Jill, are we able to turn the watches and warnings back on real fast? Awesome, thank you so much. This came through last June, I believe it was on June 3rd last year, where we had this very gusty wind system come through. I personally lost power. I know that a lot of you guys probably did as well. There's a chance that we see a similar situation after this once we wake up tomorrow morning. So just be prepared. And be prepared that if you still do have power, go ahead and make sure all your devices are charged ahead of time in case you do lose power. I would recommend, if you have any extra water bottles lying around, not a bad idea, just to make sure that you go ahead and pour all of that in, that way you have an extra bottle of water. That's never gonna hurt. Again, lots of gusty winds. We haven't had reports of rotation. That's not the main concern out of this threat. It's going to be the exceptionally damaging wind gusts. Those are around 75 miles per hour, 70 to 80. That's where they can begin to top out. And when Joel was just sampling them, they were about the 65 mile per hour wind gust range. But still, has enough to cause enough destruction and enough power outages that it could seriously impact us. That's why we're under weather impact alert mode here at CBS19. Again, we're going to stay on with you as long as this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. This goes until what, 1:15?
So about 45 minutes left on this.
Awesome. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're staying in your safe place. Now back behind the system, we are just continuing to see some rain. Are we able to turn our lightning strikes back on with this? A lot of the lightning is going to be in this front leading edge here, where we're seeing the most energetic part of the system. A lot of this, we are still going to continue to see heavy rain. Not quite as much lightning. It's going to be more so a widespread rain issue there. That's where we're going to start to see the flash flood warnings pop up. We already have one out in the Mount Pleasant area. That's for everything that you're seeing highlighted in purple. Another one off toward North Texas. That's where we have seen immediate flooding. All right, I'm getting reports. We have a live shot. This is outside of our studio. Plenty of heavy rain out there. This is near Troop and the Loop. You can hear some of that heavy rain coming down on the audio of this. Wow, just listen to that. So make sure that you are staying cautious, of course, and if you're hitting the roadways, you want to slow down. Really, if you can delay travel, that is going to be the best option for you. Wherever you are, just stay put until the worst of the storm passes you by. We have seen plenty of lightning and heard absolutely roaring crashes of thunder as well. So just make sure that you are staying aware. Let's switch back over to velocity and see what's going on there. I am seeing, oh, that was a big strike of lightning out there. All right, right in this Jefferson area, our Titan indicator is picking up on something. All right, maybe a little bit of an indentation trying to form there, but not enough that I am worried at this point. Again, still the biggest risk with this is going to be the gusty winds from Prospect all the way back to just west of the Marshall area, cutting off toward I-20. Now, really, I would recommend staying off of I-20 for at least the next 2-3 hours until the worst of this passes you by. If you can, really delay travel until tomorrow morning. That's going to be the best option for you. Marshall, those gusty winds are headed your way, so make sure that you are taking shelter now and take at least 2 ways to receive weather information with you. Woodlawn, same thing. Jefferson, that is going to slam into you guys any minute now. You're already starting to probably hear some of that howling wind make it through the area. Again, it's going to be gusty winds mainly. We do have a low end risk of tornadoes, so we're going to continue to keep an eye on this and stay on with you. But gusty winds is a big thing. We've also gotten reports of some pretty decent, some chunky hail out there. So if you need any more indication to stay inside, that's going to be a good option. And I know a lot of us are probably concerned about our vehicles out there. If you have time, if you are not under the severe thunderstorm warning, you can go and move your vehicle to a covered spot. But if you are under that severe thunderstorm warning, I wouldn't risk it. You'll be much safer staying inside, away from these damaging wind gusts. And hopefully your car will be okay. We are hoping that here at our CBS19 studio. All right, Joel, do you have any updates from the National Weather Service?
No updates from the National Weather Service. However, let's see. This might have been a little bit earlier. So that severe thunderstorm watch continues until 4 a.m. And that's mainly just going to be for this area of storms that it continues to track through East Texas. So 4 a.m. will be the expiration on that. And then once that's out of the way, we're all done. So it's going to be much cooler for your day tomorrow. We'll have temperatures in the middle 80s, and we'll be done with the rain for tomorrow. And then things pick back up as we go into this week. So that's the good news there. But we're continuing to track this as it continues to move through East Texas. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch goes until 4 a.m. It should be clearing east. This area of storms should be clearing East Texas by that time. We're continuing to watch this. We're going to be continuing to stay on air as long as it stays destructive in our viewing area as well. So thank you so much for joining us here. And certainly do stay safe in this time here. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning expires at 1:15 a.m. A couple of areas of possible rotation and kind of on that northern edge there. That's pretty normal, but certainly kind of worth monitoring as this continues to move through. Maybe a little bit of rotation near the Jefferson area here. We'll take a look at velocity. Not really that impressive of signatures. I don't think we need to worry about that too much, but certainly the damaging winds, will definitely, do you a little bit, even without a tornado threat. Certainly some damage from this and some power outages are going to be very likely. And as I mentioned before, we had a couple of areas of severe thunderstorms that moved through the area, so those actually caused a little bit of damage, and now adding this to the mix is not going to be the best of combinations. So, but we're going to continue to track this as it continues to move through East Texas. Once again, that 80-mile-per-hour destructive tag is kind of what we're watching for right now. Are there any more severe thunderstorm warnings in effect? Okay. We have some
the main one across our area here.
Yeah, just we have some to our west, but it's just this is the main show right here. This big severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, let's get some updated times here, shall we? It's right in the middle of Tyler right now, and right in the middle of Longview, and it continues to track at 50 miles per hour. So let's get some updated times for you. I wouldn't be too surprised if this continues to maintain the intensity that it has right now, that we do see the Nacogdoches area have a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're going to continue to watch that. All right, here's some updated times for you. So 12:41 a.m. it'll be in the Marshall area, Jacksonville at 1:06, Carthage at 1:22. It'll be in Rusk at 1:35 a.m. and then Timpson at 1:52, Alto at 1:59, and then it'll be in the Nacogdoches area at 2:15. Again, a part of Nacogdoches County is in the warning, but Nacogdoches itself is not in the warning at this time. But we're going to continue to watch this as it continues to track in its southeasterly direction for any updated severe thunderstorm warnings that may or may not have this destructive tag on it. But as of right now, it's still kind of moving through the Tyler area, heading through the Longview area as well. So continue to take those precautions. And we have about a little over 30 minutes left on this severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to continue to watch that for you and stay on the air as long as it is destructive.
Certainly, yeah, and we have gotten quite a few damage reports, and if we're able to switch back over to Max too, I'm looking at this area near Henderson, near Tatum. We've gotten reports from the National Weather Service, structural damage to a convenience store or a gas station. A large window was reported to have blown in. That's in the Tatum area when you're seeing this little icon pop up on your screen. Another one in the Longview area, 911 call center received reports of several trees and power lines downed. That was in the vicinity of Longview Heights, so that's just a testament to how gusty these winds are. Some pretty decent sized hail, that's in Carthage and Center. That's what you're seeing pop up on your screen. $half sized hail in the Carthage area near Center. That was about golf ball sized hail. Wow, that is some pretty massive hail out there. I'm also seeing a few more reported in the Gilmer area and off toward Mount Pleasant. Let me go ahead and get an update on those for you. Mount Pleasant, that one is going to be for some sort of flood flooding. We have a report of some street/road flooding in the Mount Pleasant area. So that's where we have that flash flood warning that is currently active. It goes all the way through 2:15 today. So I would really just recommend slowing down, staying off of the roadways as well. All right, I'm getting more reports. This is Pittsburgh. There was an emergency management report of a tree on a home that was southwest of Pittsburgh. So yeah, definitely lots of destruction out of this. We're going to continue to stay on with you. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for tuning into CBS 19 Plus, and give Joel a very warm welcome. This is his first week in East Texas, and wow, he has had quite the Texas welcome.
Oh, certainly. Wow, what a chaotic start, huh?
Certainly, but hey, a great way to start off a weather career with weather. Now, large hail, damaging wind gusts, lots of lightning is going to be a big concern out of these, but again, the gusty winds is going to be the biggest thing. The National Weather Service really recommends going to the most interior room at the lowest level of the building and making sure that you are staying in your safe place. These storms could cause serious injury and significant property damage. Those are the exact words of the National Weather Service at this time. Now, I've gotten some reports that there have been lots of gusty winds in the Camp County area. Some reports of no electricity there. Things are getting crazy in Kilgore. Winona, I've heard there's some very gusty winds out there. Trees down in Flint, Texas. New Chapel Hill, Linda reports it being very windy out there. Thank you guys so much for the reports. We really appreciate that. Oh, Carissa in West Tyler says that she is chilling right now. So thank you so much, Carissa. Glad that you're safe out there. But again, just make sure that you are staying aware. The gustiest winds are going to be right at the leading edge of this. Right now, they're currently moving into Henderson, back to Marshall, heading toward the Jacksonville area. Let me get a track on that for you, because we want to make sure that you have all of the latest information. That way you can be prepared, because again, it is going to be headed your way, and it is just moving so quickly at about 50 miles per hour there. So let me get this latest track on some of the gustiest winds. All right, and it's moving off to southeast at about 50 miles per hour. So the gustiest winds are going to reach you in Pine Hill in the next 10 minutes or so. Carthage, this looks like it'll reach you around 1 a.m. Cushing's closer to 1:30. Tempson about that 1:30 mark again. Appleby closer to 1:45. Nacogdoches about 2 a.m. So make sure that you are staying weather aware. And again, just staying in your safe place as these gusty winds, that leading edge, that's where we'll see the gustiest winds. Behind it, we could still see some pretty windy conditions, some strikes of lightning, but really it's going to be that leading edge where I have the biggest concern. And once you get through this this band, that's where we're going to see the worst of the thunderstorms. Behind that, though, then you will be able to sleep peacefully for the night. Alrighty, so make sure that you are staying safe. All right, I'm getting reports from Vanessa that the lights are out near Highway 41. That's in Marshall. The lights are flickering on and off, according to Ingrid. That's near Lindsay Fields in Tyler. Kemp, Texas is clear now, according to one of our viewers. Reports that there are some power outages in Tatum. So make sure that you are, of course, just staying aware. And again, if you have power, make sure that you are keeping yourself and all of your devices as charged as possible. We're going to continue to keep an eye out. We just had part of that severe thunderstorm warning get dropped. So Tyler is no longer in the severe thunderstorm warning. Neither is Kilgore. Longview, you're out of the severe thunderstorm warning. Parts of Gregg, Panola, Rusk, and Shelby County are still under the warning. So Jacksonville, stay in your safe place. Laneville, Cushing's, Dodson, Carthage. Tatum, you're about to get hit with some of those gusty winds. Marshall, you already got the worst of the wind gusts, but you could still see some severe thunderstorm activity over the next 30 minutes or so. So make sure that you are staying in your safe place and, of course, staying aware. Now, behind this system, the threat is going to change from gusty winds to more so some rain. We have seen lots of flash flood warnings go up, some reports of the flash flooding there as well. So make sure that you are just staying aware. And again, be cautious of low-lying areas. Tomorrow, what's going to happen is we're going to start to see a lot of the rivers and the lakes be very high and very fast. There's a very high possibility that we see some debris get blown into the waterways. So if you are planning on going out on the boat or going out on one of the rivers or lake, or if you're a fisherman, just make sure that you are staying aware and using caution and using your best judgment in this instance. Again, we'll likely see lots of flood warnings go up today or later this afternoon into tomorrow over the next few days. We do have rain chances still in our forecast over the next few days, but really this is the one that we're keeping a close eye on. This is why you've had all of these reports go off on your phone, and why you probably have seen updates from the Storm Prediction Center indicating a level 3, a level 2 risk. A level 4 was there earlier today off toward the North Texas area. So just make sure that you're staying aware. But the good news is, once we get these gustiest winds out of here, things will be a little bit better. I'm watching this one area near Marshall and Jefferson. Looks like it may be building. Look at all that lightning out there, Joel.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of lightning. That's a very healthy part of the thunderstorm for sure. Generally, the more lightning it has, it definitely is very healthy, and it's definitely going to maintain itself. And
It strikes in the past 15 minutes.
oh, yikes! Yeah, that's absolutely. So I just wanted to make this known as well. Just because you are not under the severe thunderstorm warning, folks in Longview and Tyler still continue to stay inside, as you still are in the thunderstorm, of course, and even behind it, there is a little bit of lightning strikes, even behind the thunderstorm, the main line of thunderstorms here. So continue to shelter in place as it continues to move through.
All right, I'm seeing some questions on Facebook. Yeah, well, thank you for switching over to Max too. Asking specifically about this purple stripe that's going through here. This is basically this is what we're getting. It's called range folding. We're just not getting good data for this part of the system for this particular product of our wind tracker. So just make sure that you are staying weather aware. We still can tell you what's going on. It's a little bit blurry for this purple stripe. So I saw some questions about that from Keith out there. Make sure that you are staying weather aware. But again, that's nothing to really be concerned about. Neither is the red and the green. It's just if we start to see the red and the green next to each other where we see some gusty winds. I'm hearing reports that Gilmer has no lights. Questions about Winona, Texas. Are we able to zoom in on Winona there, Joel?
Sure.
Let me see. Winona, I am having just a quick moment in my brain. That's in Smith County, I believe. Winona, Texas. Alrighty.
Okay, so yeah, Winona, you are out of the severe thunderstorm warning at this time. You're just on the other side of the main area of storms at this point. Just expect some light rain and some occasional thunder, occasional rumbles of thunder at this point. So you're pretty much out of the woods at this time as far as the damaging winds go. It's mainly going to be off to the south, just south of White House, moving into the Henderson area, Jacksonville, Rusk. You're on deck to see this line of thunderstorms. Okay, we have new power outages of 20,000. Where is that in total? Okay, a total of 20,000 power outages across East Texas just from these storms alone. Okay, here we go. Here's some numbers to consider here. So across Nacogdoches County, 1,153. Panola County, 1,205. Sabine County, 2,013. That was likely from storms a little bit earlier that hit earlier this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. And San Augustine alone, 4,059. So that's a total of around 20,000 East Texans without power. So definitely some evidence of some wind damage there with those power outages. But Sarah, did it look like they trimmed this? It could be just me, but I think it's probably just me. But it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning, again, it's trimmed a little bit, at least in the Tyler area and the Longview area. Continue to expect damaging winds, especially in the Marshall area, Henderson. And it looks like the strongest area of storms here is over towards the Jefferson and Marshall area. And you can see all the lightning strikes there. I'm going to move over here to velocity so I can query some things out here. Yeah, not looking too impressive, but the definitely some very intense storms over there as far as the lightning goes. You can see, not seeing much there, but still, you know, you're still in that 80-mile-per-hour destructive tag, you folks in the Marshall area, and then it'll eventually move off into the into Louisiana within the next, I would say, 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to continue to watch this as it continues to move through, but it looks like at least the most intense area is going to be off to the to this area here in Marshall and Jefferson. But again, this goes until 1:15 a.m. Just continue to stay with us here as we continue to track this and continue to take those precautions and be in that safe spot ahead of this storm.
So I'm seeing some questions on our Facebook live stream. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them there. I'm going to continue to try to keep an eye on this. That way we can get you guys the information that you need. I've gotten questions about our Titan indicators. You saw one just a little bit ago that was green up there. That doesn't necessarily mean there's a tornado. That's just a broad scale rotation. We have a lot of computer algorithms running through the radar right now, and they're going to continue to pick up on something that they think might be broad scale rotation or potentially a little bit tighter rotation. But that's why we have the meteorologists here, so we're going to continue to keep an eye on it for you. We have not gotten any tornado reports. There haven't been any tornado warnings as the storm system has passed through in East Texas. We had some that were up to the north, but otherwise we're kind of out of the woods there. This did just get extended off to parts of Louisiana. This is out toward Harrison, parts of Panola, Rusk, and parts of Shelby County. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to go through 2 a.m., so we have about an hour left on that. I'm also seeing some questions in White House, Frankston. I saw some Hallsville. If we're able to zoom in the Hallsville area, it's near Longview. That's where you're just kind of on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. Hallsville's right there. So you're out of the worst of the gusty winds. You'll likely hear some rumbles of thunder, maybe see some strikes of lightning out your window, but you're good to go out there. If we take it back over to the Tyler area, we're kind of out of the woods in the Tyler area as well. Still lots of lightning out there. If we're able to zoom in closer in Smith County near White House, you're no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning, so you are good to go. You're good to go to sleep, because I've seen a lot of questions about that as well. Tyler, you're good. New Chapel Hill, you're good as well. Lindale, you are currently back behind that severe thunderstorm warning, so you got a little bit of a break there. There is some rain, heavy rain up to the north, and just some scattered strikes of lightning. So I'm not tracking anything severe at this point for areas up to our north, but it's really just going to be this gusty wind area. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning going through about 1:15. Parts of East Texas saw that extension until 2 a.m. We're going to continue to stay on with you as long as our coverage area here at CBS19 is impacted by this storm system. Then we'll hand it over to our partners in Louisiana. If you want to switch over to them once it gets a little bit closer that direction. If you do live right along that eastern border of the state, you can continue to watch them there. Again, though, lots of lightning, lots of gusty winds. The National Weather Service is looking at wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. We could even see a few 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts here and there. And that's enough to cause some damage, especially to mobile homes. So make sure that you are staying in your safe place. Again, it's severe thunderstorm warning, but you want to treat it as if it were a tornado warning. That means staying in your safe place. Your safe place is the lowest level of the building, the most interior room, with as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's what's going to keep you the safest as the storm system passes you by. Jacksonville, you're about to get hit with some pretty gusty winds there as well. Same in Henderson. Nacogdoches, you're not currently under some sort of warning, but this storm system does have its sights set on you, so I would just be ready in case you do need to go ahead and take shelter ahead of these damaging wind gusts out there. Joel, have you seen any updates from the National Weather Service?
I am seeing that we have a report of multiple trees down in Overton, and there is the National Weather Service cannot rule out a brief spin up in the line, particularly in central Cass County, near the Linden area. Yes, we've got some extensive tree damage there.
Hey, I'm just going to report that we have a picture. Are we able to pop up this picture? And Nayeli, where is this? Smith County. I-20 in Smith County on FM 14, lots of slick roadways out there. Check out all of the rain that's coming through. You can see it on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. The wind is blowing the rain, so it's not coming down straight. It's coming down not quite horizontal yet, but again, gusty winds, plenty of very slick roadways. If you can delay travel, make sure you're doing that. You'll likely still see some wet roads on your morning commute as well, so make sure that you're staying safe. I'm seeing questions about Bullard, Texas, so if we're able to switch back over to our radar and zoom in the Bullard area, it's just to the south at Tyler out there. We'll give you a check of what's happening in your area. Again, these storms are continuing to pass to your south, so you're out of the leading edge of that. That's moving into the Jacksonville area. But here near Bullard, closer to Mount Selman, you're good. It's going to be up to there you go. There's Bullard. You're still in that severe thunderstorm warning, but you're kind of out of the leading edge of it. So once the severe thunderstorm warning is expired, or if they decide to move it, if the National Weather Service does, you are good to go. But still, even though you're out of the leading edge of that, since you are still in that polygon, just make sure that you are staying weather aware. I personally would stay in my safe place if I were you, because we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that is active across the area. But the gustiest winds are heading into Jacksonville at the moment, same toward New Summerfield and same into Pleasant Grove. Still lots of lightning in the Bullard area. That goes back to Moore Station and into the Tyler area. So make sure that you are staying weather aware. I'm also getting some questions about Athens. So if we're able to zoom off and move off to the west out there, that's going to give us an update on where Athens is. It's right there. So you're not currently under any severe thunderstorm warnings. Still lots of lightning out there. The gustiest winds are going to be to your south heading toward Palestine. Again, Palestine, you're not currently under a warning, but just be ready to move into your safe place if you need to. I'm not necessarily seeing quite the damaging edge there. It's kind of jagged, which is better than seeing this slick area like what you're seeing that's moving into Carthage. That's where there are gustier winds off to the east. Athens, though, lots of lightning, heavy rain. Just make sure that you are staying aware. But again, currently no warnings are active for your area. The big thing that you'll likely see is tomorrow morning when you're getting up and getting started on your day. You could see lots of ponding on the roadways, maybe some slick spots on the streets as well. But the gustiest winds are off to your east. That's moving into Henderson and Carthage. Those are some pretty gusty winds heading your way right now. So make sure that you are sheltering in your safe place. Because again, 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts is enough to cause quite a bit of damage. We've gotten reports of plenty of trees that have been downed, as well as power lines. A tree that was even blown into a house up in Pittsburgh. So just make sure that you are staying safe. I'm going to toss things back over to meteorologist Joel Robinson.
Yeah, folks, thanks for joining us here. Yeah, again, we have this severe thunderstorm warning, this newer severe thunderstorm warning, to recap, that goes until 2 a.m. And that's for just this mainline area of storms here, this kind of bowing shape right here. Like we've been saying all night, this shape right here is indicative of very strong winds, to violent winds, and that's exactly what's been the case as we have continued to track this. Up to 80-mile-per-hour winds have definitely been reported and have caused some damage across East Texas. And so we're continuing to watch this as it continues to track into the eastern part of Texas and eventually into Louisiana. But look at all the lightning. You can definitely tell that that's a very healthy area of the storm there. Not really getting any new reports from the National Weather Service, other than we have a couple reports of some downed trees and everything. So we're going to continue to track this as it continues to move through East Texas. Again, it goes until 2 a.m. And it includes some of the same areas as the previous severe thunderstorm warning. Again, so this severe thunderstorm warning goes into effect until 2 a.m. and then the other severe thunderstorm warning expires at 1:15 a.m. So we're going to continue to watch that as it continues to track through.
Hey, yeah, well, certainly some gusty winds out there, especially heading off to the east of Marshall into Shreveport. That's where we are going to see the leading edge. Wascom, I'd recommend staying in your safe place. DeBerry, that's you as well. Carthage, I'm just naming off the cities that need to make sure that they are in their safe place as these gusty winds are really on your doorstep. Dotson, that's you. Laneville
If you haven't already seen the gustiest winds, you will soon. Jacksonville, that is certainly you. Plenty of lightning out toward Athens and Moore Station as well. I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any of our other products out there. So this is going to be the past 2 hours for our estimated rainfall. So I'm seeing two big pockets of rain out there in the Mount Pleasant area and back into the Gilmer area, heading off to Jefferson and parts of Marshall. These big blobs of red, that's where our radar estimates are putting it between 3 to 4 inches of rain that have fallen in the past hour, or I should say the past 2 hours. That's what this is set to. As currently, a flash flood warning is active for parts of Mount Pleasant. It stops near Mount Vernon. Heading into Talco, Daphne, you're currently in that flash flood warning that goes through 2:15 a.m. Again, flooding is possible, especially in low-lying areas. So if you're heading through any urban areas, so we're talking like downtown areas where there isn't necessarily going to be a place for the water and the rain to run off to, or the rain to drain, that's where we could see some ponding. Remember to never, ever drive into floodwaters. Over the past month or so, we've heard lots of reports of water rescues being performed around East Texas. So make sure that you are not going to be one of those people. We really hope that you are staying safe and staying out of the path of any of these flood warnings or anything like that. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Again, the gustiest winds off to the southeast. Laneville, you're going to get this pretty soon. Henderson, you're back behind the brunt of the main line, but you're definitely going to hear some thunder over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. Kilgore, you're currently on the back end of all of that. That's back toward Kilgore, so you're kind of on the back end of this leading edge. And a lot of this is going off to our northwest there. Plenty of heavy rain in the Mineola area. That stretches back to Gilmer, Emory, Sulphur Springs. Again, general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms out there. So still make sure you're staying inside. If you hear thunder, you can get struck by lightning. So just make sure that you're staying weather aware out there. We have gotten some reports. I know Joel mentioned this, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it again. In Overton, Texas, there were reports of multiple trees that were downed. So be aware if you are hitting the roadways tomorrow morning, you may run into any downed trees that may block your roadway that could impact your home. And again, because we have gotten the reports of trees that are downed, that's why you want to have as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That way, if there is some flying debris or downed trees or downed power lines or anything that could potentially harm you or your loved ones, you want to put as many layers between you and that debris as possible. So we want to make sure you guys are staying safe. I think we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning out there.
Yeah, we sure did.
That's for parts of Palestine, back to Athens, Cayuga, you're included in that. Mabec, you're in that as well. Canton, you are currently back behind that, but again, lots of severe thunderstorm warnings stretching across. We have almost this entire line warned now from the Waco area back into Jefferson, and then Linden, you're currently outside of a severe thunderstorm warning, but still heavy rain, gusty winds, lots of lightning out there. So lots of gusty winds. What's happening here is we have a cold front that's cutting through the area. Joel, if you want to go ahead and put that cold front on there. And that's what's really sparking up these showers and thunderstorms. What's happening is it's interacting with all of the humidity that's in our area. It's East Texas. We're used to this type of humidity. But as the cold front swings through, it's going to scrape that humidity up from the surface where we live and throw it very high into the atmosphere. And you get all of this thrown up severe thunderstorm energy, or all of this humidity, combined with all of the energy that's just locked into our atmosphere here today in East Texas. That's when we start to see these severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's where the front is. Joel just went ahead and put it on there. As it continues to swing off to the south, that's when we'll start to see these thunderstorm warnings pick up. Now back behind the front, once the front passes you by, you are good to go. You'll still hear some rumbles of thunder, see some strikes of lightning. But when you're behind it, that severe threat is really going to drop off. It'll just be general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms out there. And the good news is, back behind all of this, we do have a bit of cooler air that's on the way. So that's going to knock out some of the humid, warm stickiness that we've seen over this weekend. Back behind it, we are going to see a little bit of a drier air move in as well. So that's going to make things just a little bit nicer tomorrow. Joel, what did you forecast tomorrow? Are we in the 80s?
We are in the 80s, and yes,
Woo!
we are a
Love
little
to
bit
hear it.
cooler. Yeah. We're not going to be seeing any 90-degree days, at least for a while. We're definitely going to be starting to see them pop up again as we go into next weekend, but we have some rain chances, additional rain chances that are going to be kind of scattered in nature as we go throughout the week. But we are going to be a little bit below average for this week, so that'll be nice to see. Still going to be hanging on to the humidity a little bit, but we're going to be a little bit cooler as far as the daytime highs go.
Hey, well, I certainly am excited to see it. Joel, I'm going to toss things over to you for a second. I'm going to try to pull up one of our cameras. So if you guys could take Max 2 with Joel, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I'm just kind of looking a little bit closer on that new warning there. So yeah, 70 mile per hour wind gust and nickel-sized hail is going to be possible out of this. So that is not under that destructive tag. 80 miles per hour is that destructive tag. So 70 miles per hour is not, but still can cause some damage for sure. Obviously not to downplay that, of course. So we're continuing to watch many severe thunderstorm warnings in effect ahead of this line here. So 2:15 a.m., Anderson, Freestone, Henderson, Navarro counties, and then Gregg, Panola, Rusk, Shelby, you continue until 1:15. What time is it now? 1:06?
It's 1:06, so we've officially made it to Monday, y'all.
Yes, we have.
Okay, can we go ahead and pop up tower camera for you real fast? We have these storms that are currently moving into the Nacogdoches area. You still have about 30 minutes to an hour or so until the gustiest winds reach you. We haven't seen any strikes of lightning out there. I thought that we might. This is facing off to the north at SFA, so we'll continue to keep you updated out there. Things are looking significantly calmer out there now, but again, it's the calm before the storm. I'm going to go ahead and pop up. This is going to be our Tyler camera. Again, this is on Broadway facing off to the north. Plenty of lightning and some rain out there as well, so we're giving you a live look at what we're seeing. Again, this is on Broadway. The time is now 1:07. Whoa, look at that lightning.
That was a nice one. That was a nice one.
That was a very healthy lightning strike. Remember, you want to make sure you are staying inside if there is lightning in your area. Even if you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, if you hear thunder, you can get struck by lightning. You want to make sure that when thunder roars, you go indoors. That way you are keeping yourself safe. I don't want anything to happen to you or your loved ones out there. So just make sure that you are staying indoors as this passes you by. Now, the gustiest winds, like Joel was saying, are off to our south, and that's where we're going to see the strongest wind gusts out there. A few of these, which ones, Joel, were you saying had the destructive tag?
So the one that now includes Anderson, Freestone, Henderson, and Navarro that does not have the destructive tag, but it's the ones that it's the one that includes Gregg, Panola, Rusk, and Shelby, as well as some of the counties over here. This still has that destructive tag on it.
Area, is that near Henderson, this one?
Yeah, that is near Henderson.
Can we switch back over to velocity, see how gusty these winds are? We may need to go to straight velocity rather than to relative.
That.
Yeah, there we go. And if we could pop the warnings back up, that would actually, no, before you do that, can we just get a check of how gusty these winds are? This is going to be from our radar estimates, so it's not going to be exactly down to the exact mile per hour, but it'll give us a very good wind estimate. Are we getting right kind of on the edge of that near Carthage?
Yeah, let me redo that real quick. I'll just go ahead and do Carthage. There we go.
All right, so we're seeing between 25 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts according to our radar estimate. I'm not sure how correct that is, just giving the other radar signature that I'm seeing. But either way, some breezy conditions out there. Let's see if we can get just a few more, maybe off closer to this area, to the east of Laytonville. That's just off to the southern part of the county.
Yeah, like here.
Well, you know, maybe not quite as gusty winds out there as our other radar signature is showing. Either way, plenty of breezy conditions. Something that's good, though, our gate-to-gate shear. This is where we're looking at how much rotation is in the atmosphere. It's only 11 miles per hour. You need something at least at 50, if not closer to 75, for some sort of tornado to be an issue. I'm not seeing any of that. A lot of this is just blasting, almost like a hairdryer, off of the northwest. So
we are not necessarily concerned with rotation at this moment. We could see an isolated spin up here and there, so we can't rule it out. Just make sure you're staying weather aware. But again, the gustiest winds, that's going to be the big issue for us here. Let's go ahead and switch back over to reflectivity and take a bit of a zoomed out look to see what's going on across the area. And could we go ahead and put this in play real fast? Now, this has just been sweeping through as we get started very early on this Monday morning. It has been just crashing through East Texas. It came from the Emory area, moving into Canton. Right now, it's near Henderson, moving off to Center. Nacogdoches, again, you're not currently in a warning, but you most likely will see some gusty winds. Potentially, we might see that warning extended down to areas off to the south as well. Lufkin, Hemp Hill, you guys are currently dry, but you'll likely see these showers and thunderstorms through the next several hours. Let's go ahead and put this back under now mode so we can see where everything is at the moment. We did have some thunderstorms come in early this afternoon. That was around sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. that impacted parts of Longview, off to Jefferson, off to our easternmost cities and counties. That came through. That ate up a little bit of the energy, but not enough to necessarily keep these winds from just blasting through parts of East Texas. Center, you're currently under a severe thunderstorm warning, so just make sure that you are staying inside and be prepared to head to your safe place. Just because we are seeing these gusty winds out here, the National Weather Service is saying you can get up to 80 miles per hour. That's why we have that destructive tag that's on that. That's why your phones have been going off. That's why we've got reports of the sirens going off, specifically for that destructive tag. The National Weather Service, when they see a storm like this that they're concerned about, they'll give it some sort of tag, and this one is going to be that destructive tag just because of that gusty wind and that damaging capability. So make sure that you are staying weather aware. All right, I just heard a really loud clap of thunder at our CBS19 studio. Can we go ahead and pop up our tower camera, see what's happening outside right now? All right, I am not seeing any lightning right now on our tower camera, but some rain is coming down. Tyler is back on the back end of this storm system, so we're about to just see a little bit heavier rain here soon. But the gustiest winds have subsided. We were seeing our camera shake if you were with us a little bit earlier, so things have calmed down out there. Really though, the thing that we're seeing now is going to be gusty winds off to our south. So Jacksonville, Henderson area, areas along and north of I-20, it's going to be general run-of-the-mill thunderstorm. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. Joel, are we able to get a track? Specifically, I want to see this area where we're seeing from the Henderson area, kind of this new severe thunderstorm warning that's jetting off to the southeast.
Yeah, sure. And I'd like to make a correction as well. That severe thunderstorm warning is not destructive. It is 70-mile-per-hour winds, not 80 miles per hour. But we'll go ahead and track this as anyway here. But it's still definitely going to be destructive. It's definitely going to be damaging. No matter if it's 70 or 80 mile per hour winds, it's just not going to be under that destructive category. So let's time this out right here. We have some new times for you. So okay, so we have a lot of Louisiana towns here. So we have Greenwood by 1:16 a.m., Stonewall 1:42, Logansport at 1:50, Center by 2, Huxley by 2:27, Converse by 2:38, and then Coushatta by 2:55. So that is the track for that. And again, this may not be under that destructive tag, but certainly could still cause some damage.
Which one were you saying had the destructive tag? Is the one that stretches toward Jacksonville, or did none of them have it? Did they drop all of them?
I think, let me query this one, the one in Jacksonville real quick, just to double check. But the one that extends to the southeast like that is not. Okay, so they did drop the destructive tags on that one as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great news. That means that things are not quite as impactful as they were a little bit earlier this morning/evening, because we are right around that 1:15 mark. But this is going to continue to come through. Again, gusty winds are possible with it, so just make sure you're staying in your safe place and staying weather aware. As long as you're inside, you're going to be good to go. Now, back behind this, widespread rain, lots of lightning out there. I am still watching plenty of strikes of lightning in the Jefferson area. That's moving off into Louisiana. Again, just make sure you're staying inside. There is some hail that's popping up out of this. Are we able to switch over to our hail tracker? Awesome. Sometimes our hail tracker will take just a second to load in there. All right, it looks like we might get a little bit of a hail core forming right there. That's going to be to the south of Marshall, north of Carthage, a little bit off to the west of Carthage as well. According to our radar estimates, those are coming through at about marble-sized hail. This is continuing to move off to the southeast, so just make sure you're staying aware. Again, this is mainly going to cause just a bit of an impact to your vehicles. Now, don't go outside and move them if you're currently under that severe thunderstorm warning, but if you're not and you're with us very early this Monday morning and you're still ahead of that front line of the severe thunderstorms, I would recommend going ahead and moving your vehicle under cover. But again, only if you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning. So Harrison, parts of Harrison County, parts of Panola County, parts of Rusk County, and parts of Shelby County. The rest of these are off across the state line in Louisiana. Let's take a wider look and see what's happening across other parts of East Texas. It looks like, did we just get a severe thunderstorm warning dropped, or did it expire?
It is.
Yeah, it expired. It was set to go through 1:15. So we currently don't have this area under any sort of severe thunderstorm warning. We could still see some hail. We could still see some lightning, but we're currently below that severe limit, which is good. That severe limit is right around 60 miles per hour. Still a severe thunderstorm warning off to the west in parts of Athens, parts of Palestine. This is parts of Anderson and Henderson County, Van Zandt County as well. This stretches back to the central Texas area. Plenty of lightning. We are seeing one of our Titan indicators pick up on a bit of rotation out there. Again, if you see that Titan indicator spinning, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is a tornado. It just means that it's picking up on some sort of broad scale rotation in that system. We have a lot of computer algorithms that are analyzing this, and that's where these Titan indicators come from. But again, I haven't seen any sort of rotation here that has been a concern to me at all night. Otherwise, Jacksonville, you are no longer under that severe thunderstorm warning. Athens, you are. Same in Palestine. Let's zoom in Athens. Oh, it looks like we just got that severe thunderstorm warning dropped for parts of Van Zandt County and off to the west. Athens, though, you're still under that. Palestine, same to you. This stretches all the way back to the west toward Mahia. A little lightning ball, or a little cluster of lightning trying to form just to the south of Corsicana. This is going to continue along 45 there. So plenty of gusty winds, plenty of lightning. We're going to continue to stay on with you for as long as we need to, as we are still seeing the severe thunderstorm warnings out there. Joel, with any updates from the National Weather Service?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that we now have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this particular severe thunderstorm warning, so it has weakened even further. So that's some good news there. Still at those severe limits, but we're expecting 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail out of this area in particular. So like Sarah said, we're going to continue to stay on air as long as we need to, but currently across the area, we don't have any destructive tags, which is a really good thing. But as we said before, Jacksonville, Tyler, as we move into Rusk, Alto, you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like you'll probably just see some general strong thunderstorms out of this, at least this area of the thunderstorms coming through. But off to the west, severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Athens, Palestine, Mexia. You're definitely going to be seeing some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out of this. Jacksonville, you're going to be seeing some gusty winds, but nothing towards severe limits. Over in the Carthage area, and as it continues into Louisiana and into the center area, still expect the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But again, across the board, we're not expecting anything destructive out of this, but certainly some damage that will impact power lines and maybe cause some downed tree limbs as well. So continue to expect that. But we have those two severe thunderstorm warnings in effect with Jacksonville, Alto, and Rusk kind of out of the woods at this point. see. Okay. Yeah, we don't have any other updates here, but Nacogdoches area, I think you'll probably just see some general thunderstorms out of this, maybe some gusty winds. That will be sub-severe. We'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do with this. But we're continuing to track this as it moves through East Texas. Again, it has that sharp curve to it, so some gusty winds, damaging winds are going to be likely as it continues to move through. But we have parts of the area that are now out of the severe thunderstorm warning. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 2:15. And for this one, 2 o'clock. But no tornado threat at this time. I know, as we were saying before, you might have seen a little bit in the way of rotation in this, but doesn't necessarily mean a tornado. It just means there could be a little bit of broad area rotation, but nothing that's reached the ground, which is good. But the unfortunate substitute, of course, is the damaging winds that is already, coming with this. So we're continuing to track this as it continues to move through East Texas, and we'll continue to stay on it for as long as we need. It's starting to head into Louisiana at this point, and it's starting to move further south into the Palestine area. Nacogdoches, you're kind of on deck here. It's not severe at this vantage point here, but it still it could expect some gusty winds of maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour. Still, still enough to do a little bit of damage. So continue to take precautions here. I'm going to check Facebook real quick, see if there was any questions that you all have. We can do one more timeline.
Getting that up, I just was talking to our control room. We had our reporters reach out to Camp County, specifically about the house that was downed out there. We were told that there are several emergencies that are going on right now, so we're going to continue to keep you updated. As we get more damage reports in, you will know them as well. We currently have a team that's working on getting the latest power outage information for you. Remember, if you have lost power, make sure that you are reporting it to your local power outage company provider. That way you are ready to go out there, and of course that way you can get your power on as quickly as possible. Right now, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, one off to the Athens Palestine area, another one stretching for parts of Rusk County and across the state line. Joel, can you give us an update on the timeline?
Yeah, sure can. Let's do this real quick. So you guys have an idea of when these storms will be arriving into the area. These storms continue to take their southerly track of about 50 miles per hour here. Okay, here's some updated times for you. Move this over here. So Palestine at 1:37. Current time now is 1:23. It's pretty much in the Palestine area, almost there at least, but it's knocking on the doorstep, that's for sure. 1:37 a.m. for Palestine, Alto at 1:49, should be in the Nacogdoches area at 1:58, Pollock at 2:19, Lufkin at 2:36, Crockett at 2:43, and then D-Ball at 2:58 a.m. So a lot of what you're seeing right here, the places that are kind of in the track here are not under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we still could expect some gusty winds out of this, but we are not, those areas are not under severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're going to continue to watch this to see if there's any severe thunderstorm warnings that come to be, but we're going to continue All right, Sarah, go ahead. You have any updates for us?
Hey, yeah, I do. So thank you so much for joining us on the CBS 19 Plus live stream and on air on CBS 19 Plus. Since these have dropped below severe limits, we are going to go ahead and let you get back to normal programming. We'll be here at the CBS 19 studio continuing to monitor this for you, and I'll be on air at 5 a.m. for CBS 19's Morning, y'all. We hope to see you there. We'll have more updates on storm reports as well as what's happening. We'll continue to track it for you throughout the day. We're going to go ahead and send you back to normal programming now, but we'll be on standby. So if we do start to see that destructive tag begin to pop back up, we'll go ahead and jump back on air for you. But since things are calming down, we'll send you back to normal programming. Thank you so much for joining us. From meteorologist Sarah Blue and meteorologist Joel Robinson, have a great night.